Welcome back to the Disturbing the Main Team podcast. I am Cannon Gates alongside JT Lee and Nick Green. And yes, one of those names is sounding a little different than what you guys are used to. JT, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, so my name is JT. I've been at the station for around a year now. Started back freshman year as a zombie, and now I've worked my way up to music manager now. So really excited to have this position now. And you're going to be hearing a lot more from me coming up more in these podcasts.
Yes, sir. We are very glad to have JT along with us. And then we got a mainstay on this podcast now, the longest tenured of any management staff member here on the station.
To hear you say, but yeah,
I know.
That's true.
Well, I'm talking right now. Anyways, Nick, you want to go ahead and talk a little bit before I'll take the reins?
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm still here. My name is Nick Green. I'm the interim production director this summer, so I'm still going to do news and sports back in the fall whenever we get that going again. But for the summer, I said, you know what, I'll help out with the production. So that's what I'm doing right now, doing a lot of production stuff for the station.
Well, we are very glad to have Nick doing that because we definitely needed it. Because we are having a fairly small staff this summer. It is only us three and two other DJs, so we are having a small staff, and even for the summer, very small. But we're still doing good. And yeah, because it's the first time y'all have heard from us in a while, and obviously we send out happy graduation to Matthew Pattison and Parker Woodall, our former production director and music director. We are going to miss them a lot, but we are glad JT is stepping in, and of course Nick for the summer, and then whoever we decide, or whoever I decide, takes over the job in the fall. They'll help me with that decision as well. But we're going to get into today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about time management. And when I said about bringing up this topic, JT goes, "Oh, I'm the worst time management." So you know what? With this being his first Disturbing the Main Team podcast, and we're putting him on the spot. JT, tell us, I guess maybe the things you are good at when it comes to time management, or how you think you could do better, or however you want to interpret the question.
Okay.
Here you go.
So for any of y'all out there that know me, y'all know time management is my worst skill possible. I'm not good with being on time to things necessarily. So I think a way that I could combat this is by, well, I'm already starting to do it this summer. I'm getting up earlier in the morning, but I guess the key to doing that is I've set like 10 alarms in the morning. So, I realized, the first two, I'm probably just going to sleep through it. But once we get to 4 or 5, that's when it gets really serious. And that's kind of a wake-up call to me to be like, okay, we're at the 5th alarm now. It's time to get up. So I think just going the extra mile to make time management a priority is kind of where I'm at right now. And I just got to find different ways to make that work. And I think another thing that would help me a lot is to basically create a schedule for myself and write it down. So that is something else I need to work on this summer, which I'm going to get on that. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm going to get on that as soon as I can. But, yeah, I think that would be a great way to really get into the groove of being on time through writing stuff down and not just having it blatantly in your head, but actually put it down as it's more of like a mission to get it done.
Yeah, and I completely understand what you're saying there. I set like 6 alarms in the morning, so I completely understand where you're coming from. And not necessarily because I think I'm going to sleep through them. It's more so I can turn the first couple ones off and then go back to sleep.
You get the satisfaction of turning the first ones off, snoozing that, and then waking up.
4th or 5th, I'm like, all right, time to get up. Time to get up. And I'll let Nick say what he does, I guess, well in time management, or what he thinks he might be able to work better on, however he wants to interpret it.
Well, I think the thing with me when it comes to time management is I think I do a fairly good job of just prioritizing what needs to get done right off the rip. I understand, like, okay, this takes priority over this. And so that's going to have more of my time versus something that doesn't have the same. And that goes with school, that goes with stuff here at the station, that goes with things in my personal life. It's like, all right, what has my number one priority right now? Okay, I'm set aside at least once a week to talk with everybody in my family for the most part. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, that right there, I put that in my priorities to do that. That's pretty important to me. And then, like, at least I'm talking for the summer right now anyway. I'm not, because, like, that's the best example I can think of right now. when I'm in the station, it's like, all right, if there's something I need to work on, that's going to get done first before I do anything else. Like, all right, I'm going to work on that first before I do anything else, with the exceptions of a few projects that we're going to put out later on, that I'm going to purposely kind of push that back because that's going to get done at a later time. So but if it's something that needs to get done right now, I'm going to come in here and get that done pretty much right off the rip. So that way, whatever I need to do later on, I can just go ahead and do that. I'm working on getting myself in the gym more, so that's going to be something that I prioritize a little bit more, at least once a day, getting over there, trying to do that the best I can. And then just making sure a big thing with time management right now is making sure I have time to cook, because of the fact that it's very expensive to go out to eat every day. So making sure I have time to do that is going to be a big thing here, and that's for the summer anyway. And that's because that's most relevant. I couldn't give you a good example for the spring. I've already forgot about that. So we had to go with the summer because that's all I can really think about right now. But I'll pass it over to Mr. Gates now.
I completely understand what you mean by that is probably gonna be your best example, because that's what's happening right now.
Right, exactly.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I will say for JT, whenever I started working here, my time management definitely did get better. So I think that'll probably help you out a lot.
Well, I progressively, I would say, through the first couple weeks of summer now, I have seen my time management get better, because I realize that there's a lot of things that I do need to get done throughout the day. So with that being said, I need to actually be time manageable so I can get all those things done throughout the day and in reasonable timing. So
that's exactly how I felt whenever I first started working here. I would say, mine definitely did get better whenever I first started working here. For me, kind of going off what Nick said, I've been trying to make more time for myself. And when I say make time for myself, I don't mean just sit there and watch TV or play video games. I mean just kind of like yesterday, we're recording this on June 11th. Like yesterday, I went on a walk and around walk around, just depending on I went back, when I got back to my house, I literally laid on my front porch for 15 minutes and just closed my eyes and just to chill, just kind of let everything kind of, gather and kind of settle down. Now, whenever I stood up, I was like, whoa, because I had just went on a walk around, and I was like, oh gosh, wait, I need to study myself. Because I was so I wasn't meditating, but I was chilling, because I was just trying to settle myself down and stuff like that. I was kind of scared my roommates were going to try to scare me, because I had my AirPods in still and my eyes were closed. I was like, if they come out here and I don't hear them, I'm going to get freaked out. But yeah, for me, I would definitely say my time management got so much better when I first started working here. But yeah, for me, it's just definitely I just started a new job, and I'm trying to gotta make some things up sometimes. Just gotta be able to keep track of everything. And I would say I do a pretty good job of tracking everything just kind of in my head. I don't keep a calendar because I know I'm going to forget to put the things down on the calendar. But I know I can keep it in my head.
See, I was about to actually talk about calendar. Or that was one of my points. Is that, and shout out to my mom for this, because she said that I should get a calendar for time management. So thank you, Mom, for bringing this up about the calendar. But I think that honestly, I think what would be good about a calendar is when you have those dates right in front of your face and you can look at it, then I think it's more in your head that, okay, I need to be there at this time, and you can kind of plan it out easier, because you might have multiple times that you need to be somewhere to do this, and then you need to be over here to do that. So having that written down, and this goes back to writing down things, of having that schedule written out, and you're able to look at that maybe the day before or a couple days before, and have that already engraved in your head what you need to do. I think that helps a lot with time management as well, or I can see why that does help.
No, yeah, you're completely right. For me, it's more just forgetting to put everything down. Yeah, no, but the thing is, I can remember it for the most part in my head. Good thing is during the school year, when it comes to assignments and stuff, they're already in Canvas, so I don't have to
Canvas calendars.
No, actually, and thank you, Canvas. Honestly,
I just go with my to-do list. I'm okay, that's due tomorrow, that's due Wednesday, that type of thing. But yeah, outside of that, y'all boys have anything else you want to mention? Maybe something you're working on this summer so far, anything like that before we end it off?
You want to go first?
I can, yeah. So I kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier. There's a few projects that we're saving for a later date in the summer. Specifically, the Caden Hauser interview that has been that was recorded a while ago. That will be posted later this summer, closer to football season starting up, to kind of get you hyped up for football season. That'll be one of my bigger projects I'm working on. We're recording a podcast next week with, actually, I'm not going to tell you the guest of that right now. We'll keep that a surprise right now. But we got a podcast coming next week for Growing Greenville, me and Mr. Gates Stu. And I just put up the Jerry Nara session yesterday, so that's now live on the YouTube. You can go check that out. That's just a few things I've been working on recently. JT, what you got for yourself?
Well, actually, we got some big stuff coming later today, but it'll be posted at a later date very soon, though. In about 30 minutes from now, we have a new up-and-coming band that has been on the rise in Greenville. They're called Glowing Practice. They're about to come do a live session, and then we're going to get them on air as well at 2 for an interview. But be on the lookout on our YouTube channel. What's it at? WZMB 913.
Just WZMB 91.
Yeah, just WZMB 913. They're about to perform a song for us, an acoustic version, and that should be on YouTube sooner rather than later. So be on the lookout for that. And there is a big project coming in the fall that I'm working on, but I really can't talk much about it right now. But this is going to be the first time Greenville's ever seen this, so just know that.
You heard it from the man himself. Yeah, for me, it's pretty much just making sure all that goes smoothly, but also recording our anniversary podcast that goes up on the Pirate Media 1 YouTube. And just like Nick said, doing that with him. And then also, I think that is mostly, but yeah, making sure everything's set, and then probably setting up a percentage night in the near future for the station. But that is going to be it for this Disturbing the Main Team podcast. We welcome a newest member and say bye to 2 former members. I'm Cannon Gates.
I'm JT.
I'm Nick Green.
And that's Disturbing the Main Team.
Go Pirate.